Okay, so I want to know if it ever happened to you to see something and wonder why it happened and still don't know. It happened to me when I went to Mauritania. Well, it was Morocco, but it was close to the borders with Mauritania. Last year, it was on a trip with my parents. So I had the first trip to Dakhla to surf, and after we went to Guera, where I was supposed to meet with my parents. We went there and we were invited by some locals on a Friday to eat couscous. We said hello, we ate, everything went good, and after eating we decided to go out, me and my little brother. When we went out, on the porch of the house where we were invited, we saw two people, a mom and her daughter, and they were sitting on the porch. The mom was feeding the daughter, and the daughter was crying, and the mom didn't care, she was just feeding her. There was couscous and there was another mixture, a brown mixture of things. We went out, we didn't make the link at first. When we went to the streets, we saw that women were all a little bit on the heavier side, and there were no exceptions. So we went back home at night, and we saw that the mother and the daughter were still on the porch, and the daughter was still crying, and the mother didn't care. She was still force feeding her. So my little brother asked my mom about what was happening and what were the two on the porch doing. My mother answered that it was a tradition called le bleu. Le bleu is a tradition that consists of force feeding daughters in order to make them appear more desirable to the eyes of their future husbands. It has something to do with beauty standards, and it's something that happens to everybody in the southern regions of Morocco and in Mauritania. Beauty standards are much more different in Mauritania in the south of Morocco than they are in the Western world, or even the north of Morocco. Beauty standards there have to do with wage and wage only. The more you wage, the more you look good in the eyes of a future husband. And so I was shocked to see that was still a tradition in Morocco, because it seems so ancient. And for me, with my untrained eye, I really saw it as something violent. But I was reassured by the locals that told me that everybody went through it, and they are all happy, makes for good couples. So yeah, that was my culture shock within my own country, Morocco. It doesn't take far, it doesn't...